All right, so wearing the same shirt today, not 2 days in a row. I got done with that video, and well, I can't just do a video and say, here's the reasons why people don't show up on follow-ups, and then not give you some thing to work with to help you get more people to show up on follow-ups. So here's the thing, and understand, no matter how good you are, no matter how exceptional you are as a recruiter, as a human being, as a whatever, you're always going to get people that don't show up, and humans are just a trip sometimes. I mean, you could have somebody that you have so much rapport with, felt really good about it. I mean, you're thinking, wow, that was just one of the best conversations I ever had, and then the next day they just disappear. And you could try to figure all that out, but here's the thing, what you want to do is you want to do the very best you can with everything that you've got. But the key thing is getting more so you have more to work with, right? More skills, more ideas on directions that you might be able to go, etc. So again, in the previous video we talked about why we lose so many people on follow-ups. Primary reason, not enough of a relationship there and too short of a conversation. Bam, get them the information. The second thing is, whether or not they have a desire, a real true desire for change, a need for change in their life, and then whether or not what was shown to them was intriguing or interesting to them. I mean, you could have somebody who's very, very interested in creating change in their life, see a presentation, and then, for their own reasons, it just doesn't interest them. And then, the other part of it, and we could sit here and try to understand the whole human behavior thing, and that's just a whole other story altogether on why this person looked at it, promised me that they were going to show up, and if they couldn't show up for whatever reason, they were going to tell me, and then they didn't, and they disappeared. Well, some people just don't have the guts to tell you they're not interested. And there's a way around that too. So there's a way around dealing with that. But here's what I do. I've been pretty decent at recruiting people, at making sales, pretty consistently over an extended period of time. For me, more than anything, that front end piece is important, is getting into some level of trust and rapport with that person, slowing down enough to have some kind of, I mean, even if it's not a relationship, there's at least something there. And I know that, and this is important that you guys understand this, that we talk all the time in network marketing, oh, network marketing is a numbers game and it's a people business, or is it a people's game and a numbers business, or some will, some won't, someone's waiting next, numbers, crunch them. I mean, it's, confusion is like, I get confused just hearing all the stuff that people are being taught. Yeah, it is a numbers game. Yes, you're going to have to go through a significant amount of people and to find somebody that's going to sign up. How many are you going to have to go through? I don't know. But know that no matter how good you are, no matter how great you are, no matter how exceptional you are in your skills and your charisma, your ability to connect with people, to develop trust, to create that connection, you're still going to get people that no-show and then just disappear. And I don't care, again, how big your name is, how exceptional you are, it doesn't matter. That's just part of the process. That's something we also need to embrace and understand, that it's just part of the game, and not to get emotionally distraught over those experiences, which many people tend to do. They let those experiences bother them. They bring them down. They start to think to themselves, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or what did I do wrong? And now our self-worth tends to decrease because of our own crazy thought processes. And something I put on Facebook the other day, one of the greatest battles that we have as entrepreneurs in general is the battle over self. Right? The battle over our own self-worth. Am I worth it? Can I do this? Is it, why me? Why, there's all the crazy stuff that goes on, and that's the ultimate battle, guys, is being able to win that battle over your own self-imposed limitations. But I digress for a moment. I'll go back into my point here. So in terms of getting more people to show up on follow-up calls, I want to slow it down just enough to spend a little bit of time with that person, so that they feel like they're, that I'm not just trying to sell them something. Hey, well, do you keep your options open? Great. Go check it out. Now again, by the way, I teach something, right? And if you're asking a peak interest question, I'll go for a second to my whole subject of recruiting professional people, which is something that I love to do. I love to recruit good people. When I've gotten through my center of influence and I had to go find other people other than, you know, when I ran out of my warm market, essentially I had to go talk to other people. Professional people were always, for me, and always have been, the most fun to go after because they know how to carry on a conversation. They've got, you know, they sell for a living. They already do what we do in network marketing, all those things. And those conversations are typically, because I don't know them yet, are typically a little bit shorter. You know, I'll pick up the phone. Hi, Joe. Todd Falcone here, Scottsdale, Arizona. How you doing? Good. Listen, Joe, I'm looking at your smiling face on your website. I have a simple question for you. I'm fast-forwarding it through this a little bit because of video. Do you keep your options open at all in terms of making any money outside of what you're currently doing in the blank profession? I do. Cool. Now, this is where we have two different methods, actually, that I teach in the Insider Secrets to Recruiting Professionals course. One is the pop and drop method, and the other is the pro method. The pop and drop method is where, and this is the simple, okay, easy way out. I'm gonna play a larger amount of numbers because I'm gonna ask this peak interest question, and I'm gonna go right into shooting some information out to them. And I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed that the person really had enough interest in creating change in their life that they're going to go over here, because the conversation that I had was really, really short. The pro method, and the method that's going to yield no matter what you're doing, what type of recruiting you're doing, is slowing down enough to just spend a little bit of time with that person and really find out a little bit more about them and what's going on with them and why they're open and interested in taking a look at something at this time in their lives, and just having a real conversation. Not too deep either. Not like, you got to be careful that you don't get into too much depth. Like, you start asking questions and people start to think, well, how old are you? Well, where were you born? Well, what time were you born? What's your favorite color? Well, what kind of underpants do you wear? What size are they? Do you prefer cotton, or do you, I mean, that's too much information. I'm talking about just having a conversation where there's a little bit more something here, so that the likelihood of them looking at it, they're going to themselves, okay, I like this guy. I mean, I felt pretty good about that conversation. Seemed like he had his head on his shoulders, wasn't too pushy. You know, like, for example, I have a neighbor friend of mine that we were just talking about network marketing recently, and she really super sharp lady, professional salesperson her whole life, and she was talking about, you know, and she used the term stigma because she's never been in network marketing. And she said, well, network marketing kind of has a stigma. And when I hear that word, it always kind of, it makes me just icky. You know, it's like a pussy wart or something. It just doesn't feel good. And I asked her a little bit about that. And her thing was, every person that she had ever really been approached by in network marketing was just really kind of pushy. And they were just like, oh, you're so good, and you'd be so good in this. And there was just too much cheese. It was like they just weren't being authentic. It's like, I've got to, you know, it just, ugh. It's just icky. We don't want icky. We want, look, let's just have genuine, real, authentic conversations. And it really comes down to that, you guys, is just having a real conversation. You being nobody else but yourself. I mean, we're all different. You're different than I am. But also, you know, reducing the pressure, like the self-imposed pressure that I got to sign this person up. I got to get them. You know, just let that stuff go and just have a conversation with whoever it is, and don't really care one way or the other. It's like, I don't care whether they sign up or they don't sign up, or they show up or they don't show up. I mean, at least I'm not going to show it. You know, I want you to sign up. Of course I do. I want you to show up for the meeting. Of course I do. But I'm not going to create so much self-imposed pressure where I'm going to blow up as a result of it. So having a little bit of a conversation with that person. Timeliness of follow-up is also really important in terms of getting more people to sign up. I see a lot of pretty new people that think to themselves, for whatever reason, maybe just because they haven't been taught this yet, well, if I talk to somebody, should I give them some time? Should I give them like 24, 48 hours, 72 hours? Should I give them a week to look at it or whatever? And no, you shouldn't, actually. You want to get back to those people as quickly as possible. You have to have some kind of sense of urgency. The longer you wait, the worse it is. Number one, you're going to have less people show up. Number two, they're going to be like, I thought this guy was really excited about this opportunity he was sharing with me, and it's been 3 days and he still hasn't gotten back to me. Maybe it isn't so good. Maybe he's not really committed. Maybe I shouldn't work with this person. So timeliness of follow-up is critically important. How soon do you follow up? As soon as possible. It's different for everybody. I want to find out if I'm talking to Bob. Bob, let me ask you this. Are you in front of your computer right now? Yeah, I am. Cool. Go to this website. Check this out. That's where the video is. 20 minutes long. Can I call you back in 20 minutes? Would that work for you? You know, oh no, I'm going right up to a meeting. I'm good. When will it be a good time for me to get back to you a little bit later today? Oh, I can get back, you know, and then and firm up a time. And then I get the person to commit to putting it in their calendar, because this ain't no game for me. This isn't like, oh yeah, you know, I'll call you back sometime, you know, whenever I feel like it. That doesn't work. But the other thing is, you have to understand, sometimes some of these methods that we apply don't really enable us to, like, especially if you're making a lot of calls to professional people that you don't yet know, trying to hammer them down for an appointment can be a little bit more challenging, especially if the call's really short. If the call's longer, because you've built more rapport, you've built more trust, no problem in setting up a firm follow-up appointment. I get Bob in front of his computer. He can look at it right now, but then he's going to run out to a meeting. It's, you know, my question is, Bob, when can I follow up with you later this afternoon? 3 or 4 o'clock, which one's going to be better for you? Well, about 4:30. I mean, I can't do 3 or 4, but 4:30. I'm like, great, 4:30 is fine. I can squeeze you in. You know, here's my phone number. If something happens, do me a favor. Give me a call. Let me know that, you know, something happened and you can't make it because I'm super busy. I got a lot of other stuff going on in my business, and I mean, I'm stacked up. So, you know, I will put somebody else in that spot. And it's just a positioning thing that you're playing in terms of showing how successful, showing how busy you are, showing this person that it's not a game. So it is a combination of just doing a few things. It's not hard, but you know what? Even when I do all of that, I still get people that don't show up. And I don't know what, I just kind of go, okay, whatever. I mean, their loss. You know, of course, I'll leave a message. I'll call Bob at that 4:30 meeting. If Bob was supposed to be there at 4:30 and he doesn't show up, I'm not going to call Bob 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, because what it does is it shows absolute desperation. You know, for me, it's like, if you didn't show up on that follow-up call, I'll call you. Sure, I'll leave you a message. No problem. Give you a few days to see if, you know, something might have happened, give you an opportunity to call me back. I may call you one more time. If you want to give yourself a rule, give them a 3 strikes and you're out rule, but not a 17 call and you're out rule. That's just like, oh my God, that's scary. Now they're like, wow, this person's calling me. That's like the 19th time in like 5 days. You may not even be leaving a message, but they all got caller ID. They can see the phone number. They're like, the creepy Todd guy called me 19 times. MLM people are weird. You don't want that. Build some rapport. Make sure, again, as well, by the way, that the tool that you're showing them, my suggestion is get with the person, the leaders that are on your team, find out what works the best. Like what website, what presentation, webinar, flip chart presentation, conference call, whatever is doing the best job of getting people excited after they've seen it. Like, wow, in other words, they've seen it and they react really favorably, really positively as a result of it. That's important. Find out what that is, because you may not be you might be sending somebody to someplace that's, you know, not so good, and you're sending all these people the same lame sales presentation, and yeah, they're like seeing it like, I'm not gonna, that doesn't even look fun to me. So that's an important thing as well. It's another thing I wanted to kind of insert. There's some other stuff, but I gotta go. I mean, I can't make this video like an hour. I could talk about follow-up for an hour, and there's some, I might even put some resources on. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll just stop right there. We'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.